Hello, my name is Jose Bonilla III. I'm doing my individual oral commentary on The Things They Carry. My passage starts on page 231 with the line, "She was dead, I understand that," and ends on page 233 with, "I realize it as Tim trying to save Timmy's life with the story." The main topic of this passage is realization. Tim O'Brien talks about the dreams he has later in his life, about Linda, and how he thinks about Kiowa, and just everything that's happened in his life. And he thinks about, as he's thinks about all these, remembering all these things, as he's thinking about all the good that's happened in his life, he thinks about death the same way. He wonders how it is, like what it's like, and this is seen on page 232, or on page 232, when he's talking to Linda in one of his dreams. He asks her what is death like, and she says it's like being an old book, pretty much. And that just shows how that shows what he thinks about death, because this is just a dream and it's from his mind. So yeah. Also, there's also, it just shows how during his whole journey, throughout his whole life, how he's become more accepting towards death, and how he's just being more comfortable with it. He understands life, but then he also understands death, and that is what he gained from the war and all the experiences he's had. And this is why he has this book written. I feel that this passage shows how he's kind of able to cope with death now that he's older and he's grown. Even though he may not like it, he's able to kind of accept it. It's not as much breaking him down anymore as like just being sad. The last line says, "I realize it is as Tim trying to save Timmy's life with this story." This sentence means, in his like this book, his story, like he's trying to save younger kids. He's trying to save younger kids and their future by learning from the things he had to go through in the past, and maybe the mistakes he's made and had to learn from. He wants kids to learn from that. And also in the passage it says, "When I take a high leap into the dark and come down 30 years later, I realize." And then it goes into the last line. It just shows how he's just even though he's an adult learning to cope with things, he's still a kid. And as an adult, understanding how to be an adult, he wants to save that kid, which is the youth of his day. Um, yeah. This could, him talking to himself and thinking about things, this could be seen as crazy, I guess. It could be seen as like a post-traumatic stress disorder, but really it's just his way of coping with the war. It's not hurting anybody. He's not doing anything crazy. He's just reflecting on what has been done to him and what he's had to do and what he's had to learn. Um, yeah. Also, mm, there's some good imagery within this passage. It says when he comes back from his dream, it says, and then it becomes 1990. I'm 43 years old and a writer, still dreaming Linda alive in exactly the same way. This shows how Linda has never changed. His thought of her has never changed. He's always kept the same thing. Also, it says, anyhow, it's not so bad, she said. I mean, when you're dead, you just have to be yourself. She stood up and put on her red stocking cap. This is stupid. Let's go skate some more. This shows how in his dream he wants to stop thinking about this and just go have fun. Some other imagery is, I followed her down to the frozen pond. It was late and no one else was there, and we held hands and skated almost all night under the yellow lights. This shows this dream he's having. It's like it's his way of coping with death. He's having fun, but he's also trying to realize what death is like. And he's doing this through the character Linda, the person that he holds dear to his heart. The skating is like his way of like tossing death and the war aside. But when he talks about it with her, that's like his way of trying to find an understanding. It's hard for him. Yeah.